Yeah. Is it working? Well, we're just going live right now. All right. It should be, we good? I think it's working. I think we're good.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
This has been like, we tried to move to we've done 3 locations, and it's like, come on. Can we get one to work finally, please? Justin, take it away. Introduce our guy.
Okay, everybody. We're back here on Championship Sunday in beautiful Corpus Christie, Texas, the rodeo by the bay with our good friend, lifelong friend. I've known Andy my whole life, and by whole life, I mean the last probably 5 or 6 years. A great guy. He's got a beautiful, beautiful family. Lauren Seiler is way funnier than me. I know that, but
it's true.
NFR announcer, Corpus Christie announcer right here at the WCRA, the one and only Ocala, Florida, Andy Seiler, everybody.
Thank
Andy
you.
Seiler's
Clap,
with us.
Kyle. Clap. There you
Clap.
go.
That might be the
Our
longest
studio audience
introduction I've ever been given.
Well, I wanted to give you a proper introduction because you know you're starting to be a big deal. Like got to work the NFR. The first 3 times we tried to start this today, when our stuff didn't work, we've talked about it, but due to audio issues.
This is the 3rd time we went live. The first one was 3 seconds, and the second one was about 5 minutes, and then
it's like high
we're
school
having like
alone.
audio issues. The camera wouldn't read. It's just
Someone's got a case of the Sundays,
like it's all my equipment is.
but we are here and
The
everything-
rodeo goes.
It's working now. We are the beautiful American Bank Center. Today is the day that we're going to crown some champions, pay out a lot of money, $1 million rodeo. This is my first, like we've talked about this all week, first WCRA rodeo weekend. It's not an association, it's an alliance.
It's an alliance.
And Andy, you are very knowledgeable because your notes, I'm looking at your notes, like the WCRA, they printed you guys notes, but those notes weren't good enough.
Well,
And you've doubled down on notes I've seen here. So I feel like that you have a little more knowledge today of the short round than I possibly do.
Well, the biggest thing is I try to prepare, like, get me more information than I will ever need. I'd rather be over prepared and not need it than need it and not have it.
Right.
That's the big thing that I try to live by. And I mean, when you have the kind of talent that we have with national finals buck in stock, and the Triple Crown eligible athletes, Stockton Graves, Michelle Darling, Shorty Garrett, Riley Webb, they all have a shot. If they advance out of here, win in Corpus Christie, then they would go to Salt Lake City. And if they win their 3rd WCRA event in a row, that's $1 million bonus. So that's a really big deal. And I really like not only this format, but the level of talent that we're going to have here on Championship Sunday.
Looking at just the short round, we had Bobby Moat stop by yesterday, who is the president.
Of the
Boyd,
WCRA. Yep.
the president and 4-time world champion bareback rider. So, I'm a pretty big bareback riding fan. And, I like all bucking horse, that. Cullen Pickett of Pickett Pro Rodeo, who got to take 17 barebacks to the NFR last year, which is like a lot.
That's a lot.
That's
Especially in this day and age when there's 30, 40 stock contractors.
so he's got the short round today. Top notch, top flight, freckled frog, and 807 Knights.
Yeah, that top flight, it's a horse of the year, and that's one that was overdue. That horse, there's so many good bareback horses. And I mean, you look at full baggage. Taylor Broussard's got that horse in the long round. If you've got full baggage in the long round, that just shows you how loaded that Triple Crown round really is.
You know who has the arena record here at Corpus Christie in the bareback ride?
Please tell us.
Casey Field on full baggage from years ago. And I remember it. That's when full baggage was younger, and so was Casey. And I've always like preached from the book of Casey Fields. Like if we go to First Casey 3:15, it says, "Thou will spur one out and be 90 points, saith the Casey."
Oh.
When he got off that horse in this arena, he walked up to me and he goes, "That is all I wanted."
Yeah.
And when Casey Field says that's all he wants, "Thou shalt want not." 2nd Casey 3:18. Think about that.
Well, and Casey's the type of guy that when he spurs one, he makes them buck harder because it just becomes a fight. Whenever he sticks one in the neck, those horses just are like, oh, okay, I got somebody that's fixing to ride me, and I'm going to give it right back.
You want a cowboy? Cowboy here now.
Yeah. Talking about stock, let's talk about Heath Stewart for a second.
Big stupid.
So last night, Rump has some of his go-go juice on ice underneath his foot locker in the locker room.
Yeah.
To which everybody already knows it's there.
I
And,
like to enjoy beverage.
And, well, like it was like the old, I can't remember which one, Italian or whatever. Hadley always used to say, he'd say, never go to the announcer stand empty-handed. So Rump never comes to the arena empty-handed.
I did today. Since it's
but Heath and Tom, his crew, they go in there and they just slam about 5 of them, and then all the bareback and Bronc riders are in there getting ready. Anybody else want one?
Yeah.
And you talk about Big Bear mad.
Well,
he was pissed.
Well,
but it was just great. The camaraderie, just being assholes.
The thing is, I'm like, where'd all my drinks go? Then they send me a text of them drinking. Like, I don't know why everybody messes with me, especially Heath Stewart has a long tradition of messing with me. And I've had, this is my week number 2 of Frontier Rodeo. Guyman last week and here this week. And
yep,
all
too.
I try to do is be a nice person and honest and solid. And Heath is always messing with me. He pulled my pants down last night. I'm standing there waiting for the bull ride. Pants go down. Luckily, I had on my cinch underwear that looked like there's a bear attacking the front.
I just like how in the picture that Heath sent you, he's holding the seltzer up, but he doesn't put his face in the picture.
Tom's.
So you can never prove that he actually drank a seltzer.
Why? Oh.
Big Bear, you can't act like you're always innocent, though.
Well,
you do jack with people quite a bit.
I don't. Okay, moving right along. Off me here.
No, I'm sorry. But Andy, when we mentioned this in the first or the second time we tried to go live today, your first announcing at the NFR this year in Arlington, which outstanding job, by the way. Good job, brother. I was so proud of you and happy for you. But your year, we were saying, you went from Houston, Texas to Yuma, Colorado.
Yeah.
Which is, seats about 1,500 people.
And they
great little rodeo, but
they only allowed 500. But so the world was still kind of in disarray in August. So I literally drove from Ocala, Florida to Yuma, Colorado.
Which is not close.
Not close at all. Rand McNally says that wasn't a good idea. But, you couldn't fly. You could not fly in August, and I couldn't get a flight to Denver. So I just said, well, I still have to work the rodeo. So I drove all the way to Yuma, Colorado for 2 performances and a single steer roping. 3 days later, turn right around and drive all the way home. So it was
RODEO.
It was eerie. Everybody was really excited to be there, and the weather turned out great, and it was fun. But
did they have the horse races this year at Yuma?
They still had the horse races.
Tell them how that works.
So Yuma, they've got a really hardworking group of people that put this event on, and they have their livestock show and everything else. But during the rodeo, they will stop the performance. I have to stop talking so that they can have a quarter horse match race that goes on this track. It's an old school fairgrounds. It's been there for probably 100 plus years in Yuma County, Colorado. And you have to literally be silent as the track announcer announces the horse race that's going to happen. So I'll never forget it. This was about 4 or 5 years ago. I'm getting pumped up because one of Cody Wright's kids, I can't remember if it was Rusty or who it was, but they're getting ready to ride. And I'm just selling the guts out of this thing. So they open the gate. There's like a 75 one in the Bronc riding. They open the gate and track announcer comes on. So we cut the music, and the most beautiful saddle bronc ride we've ever had in the history of the Yuma County Fair and Rodeo happens, and I don't get to say anything about it because they're having a horse race at the same time.
And that guy doesn't care. It wouldn't matter if Freckles Brown came back and rode Tornado again, and then he'd be like, right in the 2-year-old race we got coming up here, we got Jorge Otaga, Jose Lima, and Juan Valdez.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
And it's post time. Here comes Jorge, and he's riding Hot Little Lena's Sausalito.
But I like the jockeys. The jockeys at that horse race they're like wearing 13 MWZ Wranglers with no shirt and just those jockey vests. Like,
just a vest.
It's like backyard racing.
Yes.
It's not like, you're not going to find Kiss My Hawks in that one,
But you went from there to a building that seats 50,000 people and announcing an NFR.
Yeah,
How
I mean,
surreal was that?
It was very surreal because I'll never forget it. So I had actually planned a golf trip with my dad and my boss from home. We were going to go play golf in September, and my phone rings, and it's a Wyoming phone number. And usually if it's an odd number and I don't know who it is, I don't answer. But I was like, what the heck? I'll just answer and see who it is. And it was Tom Glaus. And, it was really, really neat to be surrounded by family and friends when I got that phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Just because that's something I've dreamed of. I mean, I remember as a kid growing up watching, there was an old man by the name of P.Y. Kimbrough that used to give me tapes of Houston. And so I would watch old 90s, 2000 tapes of Houston. Obviously grew up watching the NFR, and when I would rope the dummy as a kid, I would talk to myself like it's the 10th round.
We all know that.
You've got to beat Speed and Rich. They've been 3-7. You've got to be 3-6. And I never correlated that to how I could, turn that into a way to make money and take care of my family. And, you grow up and you get into this business, and now it all makes sense.
But here's my question, because I did this. This is, I'm in 11 years in right now to rodeo, but like some of these places still make me nervous. But I remember the first time that I got Pendleton, Ty Campbell, a good friend of mine, Athena, Oregon. So he helps me get Pendleton. I'm so excited. They call me, they say, "You got Pendleton." I can't believe it. I've got the Pendleton Roundup in my second year as a rodeo clown. And it's all exciting. And then I'm like, oh shit, I've got Pendleton.
Yeah.
And then I start getting nervous, and I get there and I look around. I'm like, what in the hell am I doing? I'm not ready for this. Did you feel a bit of that? I also felt like the NFR, and I don't even say crap or do anything at the NFR, but roll out the barrel. I'm sitting back there shaking like, what the hell have I got myself into?
Mm-hmm.
So
did you feel a little bit like that?
If you had asked me that question 3 or 4 years ago, I would have probably said yes. So Sean Davis actually called me in 2018 to work the NFR, and I didn't get it. But at that time, I was really, really nervous just talking to Sean. I met him at the college finals, and I was like, oh my God, I still have the voicemail because I missed his call and then called him back. But this year, I tried to call as many contestants as I could. I called stock contractors. I did so much homework that I tried to literally have the flow of the show memorized, and I had so much information that when I got there, it was just like turning the dogs loose and going hunting. No, I was ready to roll because
that just really bombed my theory of.
Yeah, well, I think about that too. I get my shot to do the the NFR, and I'll think about doing a perf here. Like, okay, because it's like a nice building, big stock, big contestants, Boyd. So I'm like, and it runs fast, and I'm like, okay, all right. I try and put myself into, and I did it at St. Angelo, same thing there, lasers, lights, all this stuff, like an NFR. Try to put myself into that big time situation. Well, and it gets you pumped up.
It does pump you, but
I won't be able to
nervous.
spit. I will not be able to get a drop of spit drawn up when I get that chance, because
I feel like
I say when. Speak good on it.
That's right.
Okay?
Speak it into existence.
I feel like this though. This is probably a really bad analogy, but like so many of my big rodeos that I get nervous about, it's like everybody wants the big rodeos and you want to get to the top, and then when it happens, you're like, crap. It reminds me of that episode of Beavis and Butthead. You remember Beavis and Butthead?
Of course.
They're always asking chicks if they want to do it. And they're like, hey, baby, want to do it? And they always say no. But then the one time, Beavis is like, hey, let's do it. And the lady's like, okay. And he's like, what now? I get that still. Like some of my more nervous rodeos. I get
nervouser.
I get nervous working with Hambone when I first clowned my first rodeo in Clovis, New Mexico in 2011. Hambone yelled at me.
Oh, I did not.
You did too, you asshole. You yelled right at me. But like with him and Boyd and you, I know we're friends. But when the show starts, there are no friendships. Everybody hates each other.
It is not.
I feel like
it is not. Okay, we've all talked about it on this show.
What?
You owe me at least 3 gold buckles.
Yeah. I got
'Cause
like
I'll-
9. I
I'll
can
just
spare
say
a
it, and
few.
he just-
Probably a lot more.
Yeah, I've got 9. I can spare a
Yeah.
few.
I'm just kidding. That was not humble. I would never say that again. But
Oh,
No, as far
Anyway.
as nerves go, I mean, when I started at Houston, I did. I got really, really nervous, and I couldn't look at the crowd because it was so big, and you almost have to remove yourself from that element and not look at the stands. Just like be in the moment and focus on what's in front of you. But we were
But
talking about this.
you
last
had
night
that
at dinner.
experience of Houston, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had the experience of working in front of 75,000.
Right.
You know, but you got to realize too. There, you know, Houston, you have Boyd and Bob.
Well,
There you have Roger and Bob.
you
You've
do.
got, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very blessed to work with legends like that. But I mean, at Houston, a lot of times you're staring at TV monitors, so you are kind of removed from the audience. I mean, in Arlington, they were, you know,
Yeah,
we
you
are
were-
spread out, but you had people right on top of you, right behind you, so
Mhm.
you felt what was good and what was bad immediately. But I'll be honest with you, with it being Mother's Day, thank you to all mothers out
Yes,
there.
we
I-
love you.
We were talking about this last night at dinner. About 3 or 4 years ago, when we had our second child, a lot of things came into perspective for me, and I really found some clarity in what we do. And at the end of the day, I want to continue to improve on my craft each and every time I do it. But at some point in time, what I do and who I am, it's either got to be good enough or it's not. And and me having that kind of mindset to go, hey, the people that I work for, they like me, love me, and they want to continue to hire me, and we're going to continue in a business relationship, or they're not. And I think when you simplify it like that, it makes a lot of the minutia, if you will, the things that people get bogged down
spell it.
in, just go away.
Yeah,
Minutia.
That's a word.
That's
Look it up.
an old Algonquin word.
yeah.
But when we were reading on the Cowboy Channel comments the other day, and somebody was putting in there, well, these announcers, blah, 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 they need to do their homework and this and that. I don't think anybody realizes not just the homework of day sheets, but the credentials, the actual production that goes into a 2-hour perf from start to finish. I mean, down, like, especially here in Corpus Christi, we're down to the second on openings and closings and
Yeah.
transitions and flags and giveaways. And I mean, I don't think that sometimes the general public understands that, you know, it's not some people say, well, the announcers run the show. Well, they are a large part of it, but so much of the stuff that you guys do, it's not like you're going to get up this morning and say, this is how it's going to be. You have to work with what you're given to make it into, you know, 2-hour and 5 to 10 minute quality product.
Not only that, but I mean, the people that put on the event, like here in Corpus Christi, Johnny Filippello has done a great job getting all these sponsors to make sure that we have a rodeo, and they have their spots that they have to go in. So, you know, we have to line all that up on all these sheets of paper to make sure that it makes sense for us and that we're hitting our spots, so that the people that have paid for us to have a job get the recognition that they're looking for. And you know, we can't have these events without them. So, you know, but you don't want it to sound like just one big commercial.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
it's got to fit.
There
It's
are
very
rodeos
important.
that are getting to that.
Saturated. And I get it, you know, as somebody who's out there selling that product to try and, you know, get more money. And in San Angelo, it's very important that because I've worked rodeos like that, and okay, how can I make this? And I would go to Boyd, hey, I've got an idea. I want to, you know, you're the one who's got to sell it. You know, what do you think about it? Well, we stopped, and because we needed the time TV, thank God. And he took 30 seconds to point out the arena wrap. Well, I got a dozen emails of people wanting to sponsor for just 30 seconds, you know?
Right.
So it is a song, and it is a very fine line, because it can get too much. But then again, there's a lot of money. I mean, you know, WCRA is going to hand out $1 million. I mean, somebody's paying for it. But speaking of that, let's get into some of the races, Andy.
You know, I'm really excited that we have multiple people who are alive for the Triple Crown.
Michelle is.
Michelle is alive, and she's already told you guys what she would do with the $1 million bonus if she won it.
Sniff Shack.
Bonus.
So, not that kind of bonus. But honestly, the story that's the coolest to me is Riley Webb. You know, this young man is 17 years old, and his parents put on a lot of events, but they'll be the first ones to tell you that Riley does everything for himself. He's got his own little bank account that he keeps his money in, and he is a 17-year-old that if he wins here,
Probably more than his parents.
exactly, he could leave here, win in Salt Lake, and win that $1 million prize. And that to me would be really, really cool to do before you're even legal.
Yeah, that's one thing I hate though, is you know how many haters are going to come out of the woodwork. Yeah, it must be nice to be 17. You know, these guys are working for it. I said that yesterday on the show. The one thing I really like about the WCRA is that they're letting anybody in. Like we got a 17-year-old steer wrestler. We had two last night in the team rope, and we had 2 high school kids that qualified to
16-year-olds,
get in.
15 or
Mhm.
16,
Yep.
something like that.
But
Yep.
so
And
I mean,
Stevie Roy.
Yep.
Don't forget about Stevie Roy, the 54-year-old bull rider.
Yeah.
He almost made it in today.
And we actually have
Stevie
another
Boy.
youth team that made the showdown round
So,
today, the 9 round.
who got the? Because some people didn't even have to go through the first 3 performances here, right? Some people got seated in the
Correct.
short round, and that's why there's 9.
Like Eric Rogers and Peyton Bray.
Richmond
But-
champion in the bareback riding? But in my opinion, Richmond's done it enough that he doesn't need to get that first ride out of the way.
bareback horse, it's fine, Richmond.
But I don't know. I'm one of those that I'd like to knock the rust off and have one under my belt, get comfortable.
Knock the rust off
you
like
know.
he's been doing for the last 12 years. That rust.
Thanks. Oh, so I guess I killed your theory earlier.
No,
You just killed mine. But no.
No,
So
you're right.
Shorty made a really good ride last night.
Shorty's- Shorty Garrett's gonna be on here in
I
just a
know,
minute.
could have been
He-
better.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys got any more water you want to dump on my
No,
partner?
no,
But-
we're good.
Wasn't
We're
Justin Rumford in '99? Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But
Blueberry.
no, and just to go back to Riley Webb, who's Triple Crown eligible. If you want $1 million, what's a really good tie down roping horse cost right now? You're not going to buy a horse for 20 grand anymore. If you want to be competitive, a horse costs 100,000 or more. Unless
Yeah.
you can train and raise
What
one on.
Trevor
your own.
sold that
Mhm.
rope horse for what? 235, 250.
Yeah.
God, that sucks.
So I mean that's the thing is he could invest that in his future, but they're putting together an event that can literally change lives in the sport of rodeo. You leave here, if you win in Corpus Christie, you're guaranteed no less than 12.5, and you've got 4 individuals who are going to try and stay eligible for that Triple Crown. So
Okay.
it's life changing.
So I want to talk about the bull riding, especially last night.
Okay.
Commentating with you guys here is one of the most recognizable voices in all of bull riding, especially since the days of the PBR on TNN to NFR telecasts and now WCRA. Donnie Gay. Last night, Donnie Gay made his pick and I made my pick before the rodeo. I said Derek Kolbaba. And last night, he was the only one to ride, and I was correct. I proved that I'm smarter about bull riding than Donnie Gay last night. So you saw that. But the bull riding here has been, well, to tell you the truth, it's not been great.
No.
I mean, we bucked.
Was
These
there
are
2 qualified rides?
Mhm.
yeah. Parker Branning rode the other night, which
Mhm.
I think Parker's got a really good shot. We got a couple of our PBR guys in here. I don't know. It's so crazy when I watch this bull riding because like these bulls here, they're just the younger bulls. They buck, but
Yeah.
sometimes it seems like the same guys get on the same. Will buck off a spinner and then a week later ride like the rankest dude ever, like it's no problem. But so the bull, we bucked off a lot of people here.
Yeah,
bull
world
riding.
champion PBR guys, the Joao,
Joao Ricardo Vieira.
yeah, what he said.
Yeah,
He got bucked down, and so
Soft
it was,
J.
but it is like that. It's a very hit and miss because our San Angelo, our extreme bulls, not the best bull riding I've been to. I'm not gonna lie. And the next week they're in Uvalde and they just ride everything.
Well, and I think you have to look at the mix of talent versus the livestock too. I mean, because I would argue right now that you can go anywhere in the state of Texas and call a stock contractor and get at least 10 head of bulls that could buck anybody off. So
Yeah,
the level.
But I do want to say this though. I got to give Frontier Rodeo a shout out because there is hardly anybody that does their own bulls anymore in pro rodeo.
Sure, that's true.
So Frontier Rodeo
That's true.
does bulls and horses because everybody has a bull guy. Everybody has a bull guy pretty much.
Mhm.
I can't even think. Flying you, Sammy, Benny.
Andrews, Benny. There's probably more. Pete.
Well, Pete's got Billy Jones. Billy Jones.
Well, they're partners, aren't
I
they?
get. I mean, yeah, but he's got a bull partner. Like all these bulls, Heath raised on the rolling, beautiful grasslands of Woods County, Oklahoma.
Sounds like a plug.
Freedom.
You know what I just noticed on this? Look how small Andy looks in between us.
Why does everybody say that? I mean, I know I'm
No,
small.
no,
but
I
oh
just
well.
think
The
because we're
camera
so fat.
Yeah.
The camera takes away 8
You're all right,
pounds.
ma'am. You
take-
can come on in and work. We're
takes
just,
it away.
You get about your
Yeah.
business, ma'am.
Back to the rodeo. Tie down roping. Shane Hanchy
Mhm.
won the American. He has got a pretty good shot, but I'm pulling from a man, Cato Llewellyn.
Yeah, that's a great story.
Poor Cato. He just he's had a rough career for
has.
being successful.
He has, but I mean, it goes to show you the intestinal fortitude he has, though, because it's 37 years old. He has some success in the WCRA, takes that money, parlays it into the PRCA, makes his first national finals rodeo at 37. He was the 2004 Rookie of the Year, 17 years ago.
And he right before the finals, he tore his growing.
But had a pretty good
That's
finals.
cool.
I mean, battled through it and won some money, and so I
Come
was
on, Cato.
it was pretty cool to see.
I had
that.
some intestinal fortitude last week at Guyman.
Yeah,
Ate
you
me
did.
a bad
I
burrito.
don't
Had to have
think
you
that's
some.
the same thing.
Is that it? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
No, it's different.
No, totally different.
Hey man, we just we appreciate your time, brother.
You
We know
bet.
you got some homework to do and stuff for the meeting, and we got to get to this Bronc Buster, our buddy over here. So,
bucking horses.
ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Andy Seiler, NFR announcer, and
All around good guy.
all around just our pal.
Thanks, fellas. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
I love you, Mom.
Okay, yeah. All right, Shorty, get your ass on up in here.
Shorty wanna party.
So you don't have to wear those if you don't want to.
I'd put them on, Shorty. It's kind of cool to hear yourself talk. You don't
Hey,
have to.
how you
But
doing, buddy?
Get by the mic.
Scoot up a little bit.
Scoot your ass up, Shorty. Is this your first time?
There you go.
Second.
Yeah, you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
Bronc Buster from the Dakota land. He's feeding them horses iron like it's his job, but I guess it is.
Good one,
Shorty
Hambone.
Garrett.
Good one. What's up, Shorty? Here, talk right in here.
You're good.
Don't be afraid of
Not
it.
much. Glad I could make it.
So, yeah, of course, you were a little late this morning. No big deal because our audio failed several times.
Yeah, I failed.
So I got to tell you, I saw a picture of you on Facebook the other day that was so awesome. Was it at Red Bluff? You got that picture where you're right in front of the photographer and you got one hand in the air.
That
and
was
you're
awesome.
staring directly.
Oh, Clovis.
Was that
Yeah.
Clovis?
Yeah.
Was that one of my sister's horses?
That was Bubble Bath. Yeah, Burgess.
Oh, Birch's.
Yeah.
That's got to be. That's the only thing that would have made it cooler is if Matt Birch would have been on the back drinking a beer while you were spurring that dude.
Yeah, or a VO and water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean he wasn't?
Double.
So talk about this weekend. The WCRA, we've been talking about that all week, and you obviously go to everywhere. Like everywhere they have any rough stock. I've noticed that you're entered a lot. You hardly ever get bucked off, and but when you do get bucked off, it's pretty hard. I've noticed that. And
Yeah.
It's never like a cute little Stetson right landing. It's always like you
Yeah.
hit the fence and almost knock yourself out.
Yeah.
But
We're really doing it here.
yeah. So what?
Really doing it here.
What rodeos did you nominate for WCRA points? Like how do you decide on that? Can you nominate after you get the stock draw? Like if you know that you got
So you can 2 hours before the perf.
really?
You got up to 2 hours before the perf to nominate.
Damn.
So of course I nominated Clovis,
Yeah.
and
Well, because if I feel like that's kind of a pretty big advantage for rough stock guys. Like if you
Yeah.
know
Oh,
you've got
absolutely.
Wild Bill, you can man,
Yeah.
I'm going to bet on that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's pretty much like Calcutta yourself.
Yep.
By yourself in Calcutta. So I did not know that. Did you know that, Hambone?
I didn't know.
2 hours prior, you can nominate.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
And what's it? And then you pay a fee, right?
yeah, you pay like this. I nominated this deal. It cost like $200 to nominate Corpus Christie. It costs the same for Clovis. Yeah.
Yeah, but it worked out. But
Yeah,
you've
well-
already won money here, and and you're fixing
Yeah,
to
no.
win some more.
Yep.
what do you have
Hopefully, yeah.
today?
Memphis King.
Memphis King. That's a younger horse.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
a bucker.
Yep.
That's a bucker.
Yeah.
Who's got Cash Deal? That's one of my favorite ones.
He's in the 3-man.
Oh, is he?
So he's
You
going to
get
get him.
pick him.
You do. So you get to pick. So if you're the number one score coming back, you get
You get first pick.
wow.
How
Yeah.
cool is that? Do you like that setup, or do you like it?
I
just,
don't know. I've picked my poison and
seeded.
definitely overpicked my talent. I might have run out of talent there. a
Where'd,
couple times.
Where have you got to pick in the past?
Let's see. I guess Green Bay got to
Okay.
pick, and then Kansas City.
Really?
Yeah.
So when you go to pick, like, is there one that you kind of want, but you're like, man, if I pick this one, everybody's gonna think I'm a pussy. So like, I'm gonna maybe not pick him, and because I really feel like that happens sometimes. Like Hambone at the BFO when they got to pick their short round bulls, and Dylan Eidelman picks Hugh Hefner, and it was like, why would you do that?
And it was like, it's a kind of like good for you, kid. Like he's going for the best, and I admire that. But it's like, but then you also got to be like business savvy too. Like what I really match up with, and but I wouldn't think there's anything out there that you would be, back down from, because you could spur everything.
I don't know about that, but
I think
like
so.
The 3 horses
I
and the
believe
3
in
man here. Either way, it's Wild Bill, Miss Ellie, or Cash Deal. So that's as even as it gets. So it's just
Oh yeah, Wild Bill.
Wild Bill's been bucking. That dude is 20-some years old.
Yeah.
And he bucks just as good now as he has in quite a while. And,
Yep.
I remember at the shootout in San Angelo when Wild Bill was in his prime, and no one wanted to get on him, and Wade Sundell had the first pick, and that's what he picked, Wild Bill.
Yeah.
Like I said, useless rodeo horse knowledge. But what's your favorite your favorite horse that you've been on? The one that, if you could pick one horse and you could haul that dude to 5 rodeos and win every one, what would it be?
Bubble Bath.
Bubble Bath?
Yeah.
Really?
That is a good feeling horse. Yeah. She's awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to know what that's like, because I'm not going to get on. I got on a horse here years ago and about died. No big deal.
Yeah, didn't the horn go up your taint?
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah, we don't have the video, but it was a pretty bad wreck.
He got on with the saddle horn, and when he got bucked off. When he came down, the horn went in his taint.
somebody's got a video of that, right?
And,
we got
and
a
it messed
video.
up the nerve endings.
It's a bad deal. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
But
So every time he gets excited, his leg goes
now.
numb.
yeah, it's a whole deal. It's medical terms. But talk about last year, COVID shut down. That sucks for like everybody, especially for you guys, because like for one, it sucks for Hambone and I because we know what we're going to get paid per rodeo.
Yeah.
But like for you guys, you have to win, and then you don't have 4 months of rodeo. What'd you do? Just go home and go to work?
Yeah, so I got some red cows at home, and they'll keep a guy busy. And then Dad's got a construction business, so there's always something to do back home. But Dankshire would rather be out on the road.
Who do you travel with, Shorty?
Isaac Diaz and Brody Kress.
Well, that's a pretty fun group.
That's a good fun group. We had fun in Sydney last year. That
Yeah.
was the only thing when we talked about this. Like usually these guys, they barely get their Bronc saddle off and they're gone, especially in August. They're off to the other one. But like Sydney, we hung out for like 3-4 days and kind of eased around. It was so fun until Shorty tried to kill me on the golf cart. Just
What'd you
mashed.
do?
He stood
I
on
told
the
him
gas.
if he runs the steering wheel, I'll run the pedal. And
This is leaving the Legion Club
Why
at
didn't you-
2:30 in the
why
morning,
didn't-
by the way.
Oh, well, okay, never mind.
And then he just stands on it, and this dude's all muscle, and I couldn't get his foot off of the gas, and so we're hauling ass.
I said, what are you
To-
going to
to
do
the
when we
back
pull
of
up into this tight situation here?
We come up to the trailers. I go, Shorty, you're gonna have to move your foot. We need to stop soon.
I would have bailed.
And then his thinker clicked, and they turned the key off.
Yeah,
Killed
We
power.
made it.
It was all right.
but anyway.
everybody freak out.
Yeah.
it was
He
fun.
kept saying this is a rental. I said, well, if they didn't want to sell it to you, you got her bought now. But
Is Isaac? Does he have a good time?
yeah,
Is he?
that guy's a lot of fun.
He's always pretty quiet. Always pretty even killed. And
Yeah.
Brody always seems to enjoy things.
Yeah, we always give Brody heck. He takes shit pretty good. We're
Yeah,
always
he's a-
teasing him.
If
how-
he
He's
could-
a good dude.
If you could only
he
find
is.
his rig at a rodeo, that'd be nice.
Yeah, right. I know. It's hard. Like when you go into Walmart, and you're like, what aisle did we park down? And you can't find it.
Look at the huge camper with Brody Cress's
Oh.
face on the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
When you guys are cruising that down the road, does anybody?
Everybody
pull a
looks at you.
wave.
Yeah. Everybody. You'll be driving along, and then there'll be this vehicle. They'll usually think they're going to pass you, and then they decide they don't want to go that fast, so they'll slow down. Well, they're actually just sitting there waving at you, and like going like that. So yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
wow, real cowboys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, cowboys.
Yep.
So tell a little bit about your family. And we kind of touched on this in the NFR, but really didn't get into it too much because we were on with Matt Birch and we were having some morning drinks.
Yep.
But tell our audience the kind of the lineage of your family.
So like Casey Tibbs would be like a great uncle, and then TC Holloway, Marvin and Mark Garrett, Chuck Holloway. They're all uncles. Jason Floyd, the Bulldogger, he's brother-in-law.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's Cody Tayton. He's a cousin.
I saw Cody last week.
That's a lot of cowboy.
Cody
right there.
Tayton was
a lot of cowboys.
won the average at the NFL on the Bronc riding.
Yep.
Chuck Holloway
JD
could rope
is
anything with either hand on any horse.
Chuck Holloway's the toughest guy I've ever met.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he's tough or dumb, but
either way it works.
I always remember it was the coolest thing, and Chuck picked up for a lot of different people, but and I can't remember what was it, the NFR, and he comes out with just the war bridle, which is just a piece of leather, like what the Indians used. It was just a piece of leather, through the horse's mouth, and then connected to split reins.
Yep.
And then he put feathers from it.
Yep.
I was like, God, that's badass.
Yeah. He we took some bulls for a guy one summer, some bucking bulls, and that goes back to that raising him.
Yeah.
I'd never want to raise him. Every day we was roping bulls out of the neighbors or something like that. And that guy would rope him, and you'd rope him too, and we'd be dragging him in these half-top trailers, but he'd come so close to getting you in a wreck, and then he'd just lock it off and get you out of it.
What did you guys do? Family get-togethers with those guys?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I can't imagine Chuck Holloway just chilling at because I've never seen him do anything but just drink beer and be a cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he still does that whenever we're at family get-togethers, I guess.
One time he at the college finals, he rides out of the arena. He's got this trailer and he's got a blue Dodge pickup that looked like he hired 40 people to hit it with baseball bats. And so he's going to jump his horse into the trailer and he's going to grab the top of the bar top and just send that horse to the front. But the horse jumped higher and
hit him a little lower.
And he fell off the top of this horse, bar top trailer, onto the concrete and hit so hard. And then he got up and he's like, that was stupid. And then he walked off. I was like, oh my gosh, how are you alive?
He had that horse U-turn, Harry Voldbronc.
Yeah.
And he trained him to bow. And I'd love to be able to ride that horse because I bowed that. I showed off to so many chicks. That horse was the best wingman a guy could have.
Yeah. Yeah, he could pick up on that horse I seen him pick up without his headstall on him, like a horse is unreal. And he'd let him go, and you better look out if he was in his way. The horse was going back to the trailer, and he'd stand there when he was done with him. You see everybody switching mounts or whatever. He'd just jerk the headstall off him or throw the reins over the horn, and that horse would run to the trailer, and he'd stand there till the perf was done, and then he'd go take care of him.
Well,
or Tammy would.
Or somebody would.
And when you think about legends never die, we lost TC Holloway. Man, it's been a while back.
2000.
But
2001.
I was watching an old NFR video, and TC was by far one of the most graceful bronc riders. And he was a bronc rider. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just so good. And he rodeoed with Bart Nichols and those guys. And I remember when I was younger and they'd roll up in the minivan with their Bronc saddles, listen to Guitar Town by Steve Earle. And I always thought, man, that TC Holloway is like the coolest dude ever. Had the big Indian feather. And he died in a car wreck and we miss him. But I mean, for you to ride Broncs and just the family lineage, is just amazing when you think about how deep you guys go back and the great traditions and it's pretty cool that you're a pretty decent bronc rider, I guess. And,
you do all right.
Do you feel like there's any pressure, for you and rodeo when you first kind of started going? Because it's like if you're Michael Jordan's son.
Yeah, we talked about this with Rainey Skelton. Her dad's an 8-time world champion. Do you feel any pressure? Kind of. I mean, you look at all the. Casey Tibbs, for Pete's sakes.
Yeah, when I was first starting, there was some, this bronc riding deal, I was just waiting to advance to that so I could quit the bull riding, and once the bronc riding deal was kind of getting on our way, it was a lot funner. There was nothing but help from all the family,
Well, I know a South Dakota bronc rider that's an outstanding bronc rider who's a terrible bull rider also. Let's say it together on the count of 3. Terrible bull rider, great bronc rider. 1, 2, 3. Cole Elsher.
Yeah. I had to help him several times, and I just cringed every time I pulled his
Cole
rope.
Elsher is such a good bronc rider and cool dude. Why was he in the bull ride for
I
a
know.
while?
I know. I tried talking him out of it several times too. You know, like
He tried. He was really after it.
oh,
He
tried.
wanted it, didn't
He'd
he?
try when he was laying underneath him, though. You know, like it's like at a certain time you got to have some sense.
yeah,
Here.
you
Like
gotta-
we still got to ride Broncs tomorrow. Like we can turn the bull out. I don't care.
That's Cole Elsher.
I thought you was going to say it too, but the South Dakota.
I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was roading with him at the time he was doing that too.
I
Yeah.
was going to say Chad Furley.
I don't,
Jeff Willard.
Jeff, I saw Jeff Willard. South Dakota has produced the best bronc riders in the
Oh,
coolest
hands
dudes.
down.
Like every cool party story from a rodeo has usually got at least one South Dakota bronc rider in it.
Yeah.
But those guys are a blast, and
Yeah. They have a lot of fun.
Cody
Mhm.
Tatum, it was good to see him last week, and he was a guyman, you know, an old
Yep.
panhandle kid himself. But you know, if you look at all the South Dakotans and the bronc ridings, the history they have, that's like Rapid City extreme broncs. It's so cool with these different events, like Bobby was talking about the rig and rally and this and that.
Bronx
like-
for breakfast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just Bloody
that's
Marys,
cool.
bucking horses. The bronc match that Sutton's have, which is badass.
Yep.
The extreme bronc finale at Rapid City.
Yep.
And you know what I love about Rapid City? It don't matter how many rodeos you have there. It don't matter what you have. They're going to be there. They
Yep.
pack that sucker for everything. That bronc match, I got to work it last year for Rory, you know, and you talk about a cool event.
Yeah.
Just bronc riding, nothing else.
Yep.
Great horses. I mean, amazing.
Good crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
So let's get back to today. What are you seeing today with the guys and the horsepower that you have out today? What's it going to take to get to that?
There they are right
that
there.
top
They're
three?
running.
Yeah,
There's Freckled Frog right there.
Yep. It's an even set. It's a really even set of horses. You know, there's a couple of them in there that a guy would have really wanted to have. You know, but it's going to come down to like the guys just got to work a little bit harder on these other horses. You know, them other two, they might get by with just riding them. You know?
So,
Mhm.
so there's 9 guys go.
Yep.
And then we'll have a 5-minute intermission and come back in the top 3. So how does that work? So if you make the top 3, are you going on the aggregate score, or is it fresh when you get to the 3 round?
I ain't sure on that. I think it's like
Kyle?
like today.
Is it?
The
Is
winner
it?
out of today.
Yeah, the 3 round is a winner take all, right? Is it, or is it? They don't average it out, right? When you get in the 3 round, the highest score wins, right? The previous scores are wiped out or
So
times.
all
Okay.
you got to do is be in the top 3 in today's
Yeah.
long round.
Yeah.
Man, what a deal.
Yeah. It. So tell. And we did this with Michelle the other day. Somebody that may listen to this that's thinking, well, maybe I ought to nominate something. You know, I mean, do you have any advice for? I mean,
It's a good
about
deal.
Yeah,
this
it's-
WCRA for some people?
The WCR is what they're doing for the cowboy, and not just, you know, it don't matter what stage of rodeo you're on, you can make a big move and make a living at it. You know, with this Triple Crown deal, you know, being eligible for that $1 million, like even at the stage that I'm on, like that's a lot. Like
Mhm.
that'll, I mean that
It's life changing.
yeah, it is. It really is.
I
So
mean,
yeah, nominate everything you can. You know, I'd nominate poker tournaments if I played poker.
Poker face, poker face.
Oh,
And your
what?
whole crew's here because Isaac was here.
Yeah,
Brody was here.
Brody was
Yep.
here. Yep.
So a lot of the Bronc riders nominated most of those. Or is there anybody that doesn't?
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I don't check up on the leaderboards. I guess they just
You
Tell
ever
me
do
when I
that
get
throughout
in
the
there.
year in pro rodeos? Be like, man, I want to see how I'm setting, or do you just let the fur fly and just see how she lands?
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah. No, we don't look at that till December. But
That's right. That's right. Well, good luck today, man.
Yeah.
Pulling for you. You know, you're one of our favorites. Just because you're our friend.
And you like
You're
to
our
have
buddy.
fun,
Thanks,
drink
buddy.
some beers,
Hey,
run some bucking horses.
Rump, do you think there's room on this shirt for a RümpChät patch somewhere?
Good Lord, it looks like a NASCAR.
you're stingy on those patches.
I got some right here. I'll give
I
them to
know,
you.
but in Sydney, you only give me like 2, and then I had to go grab
Can we
the other
put one on your back for today?
27.
Yeah,
one
there's-
right here.
Yeah, we could do that.
There's
not
no
gonna pay-
patch program.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
get paid anything.
and we don't pay. We don't pay anything.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Publicity event.
You want
I
a
guess.
Pete Car Rodeo hat? I can hook you up with one of those.
I already got it.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
probably got a bunch of that. But anyway, hey, we gotta get out of here. These ladies are giving us the evil eye, but good luck to this man right here. Gonna go for some big time cash. Shorty Garrett, thanks, buddy, for coming by. Really appreciate your time. Thanks to everybody out there who's listening. Don't forget RümpChät 20. Go to manscaped.com. Get your 20% off. Pendleton Whiskey, big thanks to them. The fastest growing whiskey brand in the United States. Yeah. Gold Buckle Beer. We'll be having those some after the rodeo and when we're celebrating a big win for this guy. But anyway, we appreciate y'all. We'll see you next time out there somewhere. Bye-bye.
RümpChät.
Oh, you right clicked. You're right clicking, Kyle. Damn it, Kyle.